All right, all right. Best of 3. Semifinals. Finally here. We got a ZvZ. France versus Germany. Almost had a brain fart there, but no, it's France versus Germany. I don't think this matchup has ever happened in the history of ever. France versus Germany, they've always been friends. In the bottom left is the blue Zerg. It is Lambo. And in the top right, as the red Zerg, it is Denver. In all seriousness, this is actually a pretty common matchup in Starcraft 2. Lots of talent coming out from both of those countries. Poland also has a lot of good players, but a lot of, like, kind of middling good players who occasionally have some okay runs, but, like, not like a ton. You know, Nurchio obviously was probably the... Hold on here. Let me think. Let me just make sure I'm not missing someone obvious. Yeah, I think Nurchio was the most successful Polish player, right? Sol's really good. He's getting better, actually, every weekly, it seems. But then we have Mana, of course. And I'm forgetting some other very, very good Polish player right now. But yeah, anyways. Well, it seems to be a lot of French and Germans. Barely any Americans. Although we do have Neeb in the other semifinals, so got that much going for me. This dude never GG's, rude. Yeah, if you don't know Guru, then, well, it's probably a good thing. Just because you didn't have to live through any of the drama that is included with him. Years passed at this point, but still, it was dramatic. Will you also cast the NA Cup? God, no. Do you think I'm Warty? Do I look like a young white man? No. Not just because I don't want to use my voice for like 9 hours. I use my voice for many things, not just Starcraft. But also because I have other work to do. So there's that. And also because the NA cast is already covered by Maynard and Pig. And we have a hell of a lot of crossover in terms of reviewers. Me and Warty, not so much. I play Terran, I fake cry too, fairly convincingly. Denver apparently had some PC problems. But I guess they got fixed by now. Since he's made it this far. ZvZ against Lambo. Lambo ZvZ against Denver. I mean Denver, I don't consider Denver ZvZ as something that's like, I don't know, defining of him. Whereas Lambo, I still think of him a lot for a ZvZ. Probably because he seems to always be talking with a laser or facing a laser of talking about ZvZ. So I'd say this is scarier for Denver, but Denver's really been playing quite well. 2-0ing Hero Marine and making it look really easy. Very, very different matchup, but still I think he's feeling it today, you know? He's all pumped up. He's got like the Eye of the Tiger playing in his ears right now. Both going for very similar builds, so this has been very mirror so far. If I missed any drone mismatch here or there, I don't care. But mirroring in terms of the Baneley nests, in terms of the Lings, the drones very close. The +1 faster for Denver, even though Lambo got his evolution chamber, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Very intentionally going for that lair first. Actually, what is happening here? Wait, how? He got one more Baneling. I mean, that's, you know, 25 gas, but I guess he just didn't put his guys back into gas as fast. Oh, that's not so good. Lambo does get like the tiniest little drone lead for a little bit, but that was a pretty significant delay on his +1, even though the lair timings were identical. Well, I say significant, it might not be. It might not. 20, 25 seconds, whatever it is, actually might not matter at all. So, let's move away from that. Overlord speed on the way for Denver. Lots of scouting, especially when it comes to the minute or two from a lair when you're like, oh, are they gonna swap on a spire type thing? But also just scouting literally around the map. Spread them overlords out. Spread them. A laser, oh my god, you guys are so right. I literally bring him up like a minute later. I knew it, I felt it in my gut. I'm missing someone painfully obvious, and then I literally talk about him in regards to Lambo, and I still don't bring him up. God, you're right. Yeah, a laser would be... I actually wonder if you'd say he's more successful than Nurchio just in terms of money. I'm actually not sure. There's a way to check this, so I'm just being lazy. But a laser obviously the most successful in the past couple of years. Nurchio, I think, is officially retired. I mean, he didn't make an official retirement announcement, which means that he actually did retire. Anyways, this game's starting to get a little bit heated. We actually had Denver delay his Roach Warren an extremely long time. I assumed he just had one. I noticed that Lambo put his down first, and then I was just like, Denver has one. Oh my god, Denver just forgot a Roach Warren, and that's why he lost. Are you... Hit it. That's awkward. He was banking 1,200 minerals. He just forgot his Roach Warren. Well, I jinxed Denver. I was like, I think he's feeling it, guys, and then he forgets an entire tech structure. I don't think I missed anything. It's possible I did, like a Roach Warren being killed, but if it's killed, then you usually would still see it replanted immediately. It is that important, but that's so awkward. I mean, this is either a game that's going to tilt you off the face of the earth, or it's a game where you're just like, haha, and then you move on. It's definitely not indicative of their actual skill versus each other. Whether Denver can take on Lambo in a macro game with such a bit of a goofy, doofus mistake there. Just a little silly. The bottom left, up one, it is Lambo. The top right as the red Zerg, it is Denver. Has gone further than Nurchio at BlizzCon. You think I wouldn't know that? I mean, to be fair, I did like forget a laser was Polish for like 10 minutes, so you know. I might just be dumb, but you think I don't know that? I think I didn't cast that BlizzCon where he went farther. Shh, please. But yeah, I don't know if that means that he's made more money. And we'll never know in terms of like their contracts for their teams, how much salary they're being paid, of course. But of which I would think Nurchio would have been more, just because Nurchio came up as one of the... He was coming up during the heyday of Starcraft 2, even though he played at a high level far beyond that. So I'm guessing he was making some decent moolah from Team Acer. That's why his +1 was faster? No. It wasn't. Like, I'm not just saying that because me Smirt, caster, best, you know, no disagree with caster, but I'm fairly sure the order was Lair +1 for both of them. Right, different orders for both of them, but still Lair and +1. And then a Roach Warren for Lambo. Problem is, the same time that Lambo threw down his Roach Warren, Denver was also supposed to be throwing down his. So yeah, very awkward. He was probably even trying to make roaches during that Ling attack, and I was like, why aren't they building? Am I supply blocked? No. Do I have minerals? Yes. Do I have a roach warren? Oh. Golly gee willikers. Well, once again, similar starters here. Lazy Einstein. If Einstein was lazy, he wouldn't be Einstein. What a conundrum. A couple Lings going in for the scout. I mean, you see a third hatchery down. That already tells you it's not a 2-base all-in. But if you can get a scout on that main base, that's also quite nice. They both try to do the same thing. Didn't really work out. We're getting some building. I mean, it's just the idea that a pro gamer could do something so bad. So, just, you know. Oh my god. He almost put his own Ling. So there's, obviously the most famous example is Idra versus MMA. But the other example I can think of is, oh no, what Zerg was it? Shoot, it was an Impact, I think. Impact killed his own hatchery with a drone. He attacked it onto his hatchery and then didn't notice for a straight up like 5 minutes. It was crazy. It was so silly. Alright, Roachborn coming down. So once again, Lair, +1 a bit faster for Denver. Could get the Roachborn. You could get it. There we go. This time they're a lot more even on that +1 though. I think last game was like 20 seconds. This looks like 15, 10. Apparently I'm okay at guessing the progress bars on production, but I'm not gonna say I am 100%. A little bit of an attack coming through here. Denver, I mean, this is probably his game plan yet last game, right? This is what he wanted to do, except he wanted to be able to build roaches behind it. But it doesn't look like it's going to work out here. Lambo actually had a healthy number of banelings. This actually is a surprising amount of banelings. Even when you see they're making a decent amount of lings, usually you try and combat it with an equal or even slightly less number of the same thing. But I guess he really wanted to get into those roaches, so didn't go for more lings, just went for a couple more banelings with the lings he had. Goes into those roaches, now has a roach attack possible, although I think you would wait for roach speed, so. 47 workers to 65, though. Lambo is definitely going for an attack. I mean, that roach speed's going to finish eventually, but the attack is going to happen before that. Denver sees the roaches. Still slow. Still without the +1. I'm just finishing up in 10 seconds. Nidus Worm! Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Don't block it, block it, block it. Don't let a big foot down when the Lings can scout it. That roach is unintentionally a Lambro. Well, I think he barely wouldn't have seen it anyways. That's funny. Spineclaws are coming down, though. He sees I think that was just seeing the lack of drones at the third. Like, okay, like, all right, buddy, come on. So, while maybe he doesn't know about the Nidus Worm, he does know there's an attack on the way. And that's, I mean, he's already at 65 drones. It's not like he was going to drone up that much more, but a couple of spine crawlers to help out, especially since it is a Nidus Worm. We might have multiple attacks, right? Probably going to be helpful. Going for the +2, maybe a little bit greedy. He hasn't seen the attack yet. Can't size it up yet, but he is going to go for the +2. Both of the roach speeds finish at the exact same time. Nidus Worm on the left side, not quite seen by this Overlord. Looks like Denver knows it is definitely a Nidus Worm. Perhaps just based on the timing of which this hit wasn't the hatchery based all in, obviously. So he's going to split a couple of roaches. This will take 48 roaches away from the main engagement, and if Lambo only does a main engagement, then that could be devastating. Equal upgrades with 2 spine cults on the third base helping so damn much, especially because they're not targeted down. No corrosive bios available for Lambo. Queen, unfortunately, sacrificing herself for no reason. Lings against the natural, but that's where the roaches were. Not necessarily for Lings, but rather for the Nidus. necessary. +2, almost halfway done now for Denver. Spinecrawler's still alive. Nightstrom now coming down. Ooh, the Lings. They actually took this away. There's so many Overlords that he has to cover. He actually doesn't know where his roaches should go, but he sees it now. Can he actually kill it? His Spinecrawlers have gone down. He's trying to get the number of roaches down as he thinks he can take care of the Nightstrom just in time. He does. Some Lings over to the side, and actually Lambo's going to tap out. The attack did not work. GG. It's a lifetime highlight. It's never gonna happen again. If Impact did that just to make sure that he was in a highlight video of Starcraft 2, more power to him. I think he still ended up winning that game, so legitimately, more power to him. He can do whatever he wants. Lambo's gonna be right back, so I will be right back too. Ugh, gosh. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, that's a paragraph. I almost wonder if these comments are like some weird form of negging. You know? Like, why come in here and tell me what people say about my casting? Constructive complaint? Really? You think you see constructive complaints in Twitch chat? I've watched replays of Twitch chat while I'm casting, and they're almost never constructive. I've also never really seen anyone... I haven't seen a number of people criticize that to say that it's actually legitimate criticism. There's two ways to take in feedback. Take feedback from people that you trust and respect, and take feedback from a majority opinion, because if everyone thinks it, then it has to be somewhat correct. So I'm thinking it's just your criticism that maybe like one other person backed you up on. Because I've legitimately never heard that criticism. Nor do I think it's actually correct. Why don't you and Wardy cast together? Because it's not mutually beneficial to really do it. I know Pig and Maynard cast together despite being on the, like, each other's streams. They're both streaming. But it reduces the number of games cast until the semifinals. And, he doesn't really benefit either one of us except for just, like, having fun, I suppose. Maybe it could benefit. Maybe people in Wardy's chat don't know me. Or that I'm streaming. It's very possible. But, yeah, I don't really see a reason to do it. How do you decide which game to be broadcast? You just grab one that is available? Stop being simps. Oh my god, this guy. New career other than casting or streaming, what would it be? Well, I'm currently doing like voice acting, so probably that. I did train to be an artist, but it would take some time to get back into that. Last game in a best of 3, top left. It's the blue Zerg, it's Lambo. Bottom right is the red Zerg, it's Denver. Denver losing game number 1 because, well, he forgot a Roach Warren. And game number 2, winning. Actually making it look quite easy, but his good reads on what Lambo was doing. The spine crawlers really did help out because that is one of the strongest things that Lambo's attack could have done. Forced Denver to respond to 3 different locations. Thus, one big attack on one location could have overwhelmed him. But spine crawlers properly defended so that they're not just getting target fired instantly add a lot of strength, making up for like 8 roaches that he had to take away. When is everybody a good paragraph in Twitch chat? Actually, that's a really good point. Like, generally when you see like a block of text on Twitch chat, you think immediately copy pasta. Then you read it and you're like, oh, okay, this guy's actually just totally oblivious to how Twitch works and is probably being an idiot. Third, you actually read it and you're like, oh, they're asking a legitimate question. But that third thing very rarely happens. Lazy Einstein, it feels like either you're just trolling or you saw like one guy's opinion. Because I can tell you what people were saying when I was casting games at Katowice or Montreal. And wasn't that. And if it was, I gotta tell you, I'm always a little bit apprehensive that there's just a thin veil of sexism involved. I could literally say the thing first, and the guy could say it second, and the people would be like, why did ZombieGrub reiterate it? And it's like, well, I said it first, so the guy reiterated it to me. So what are you talking about? So, I think you're kind of just being a douche. Unintentionally, perhaps, but you are. Alright. Good stuff. We do have a bit more of a Ling attack, Ling dedication this time. Starting off from Lambo, actually. He wants that third hatchery, and he's going to be able to get it, all the while getting his own third hatchery. The Queens tried to come forward to help out the Lings as Denver was trying to respond. He just didn't do it quick enough. He didn't figure out what was happening quick enough to start the Ling process quick enough to protect that third base quick enough. That is a cancel, while Lambo's is already done. And it didn't actually require as much as you would think, because Denver had to respond as well. He also wasn't just droning during that. If he didn't have his own 25 Lings to match Lambo's, well, maybe he has like a 6-7 drone lead, but that's not the case, is it? So he's got to use his own Lings. Somehow, some way. Unfortunately, Lambo with his Queens defensively, with his hatchery full health, it's very little chance that Denver's going to be able to do a whole lot. And unfortunately, Denver just has to live with, well, now no third hatchery. Those Lings came in again and canceled it again. Let's say cancel, yeah. Oh, nice hit back there. Surprise Baneling. Yeah, if he's canceled again, I mean, you feel like they're all in at this point. The Banelings actually aren't being used to even try and help out. Now they are. 2 Banelings are actually enough to cancel all these Banelings out, but Lambo splits. I feel like Lambo is actually winning this game just so hard right now. So hard. Oh, the drones. No, the drones. 3 drones die. But no, the third base, man. The third base is just such a big deal. I mean, they both don't quite have enough drones to really utilize mining the third base, but we're even talking about larva here. As they're still on Ling-based units. Like, that's a lot of larvae that you need. Ling's going to the south side. There's no Overlord down there to see this. They're going to get into that natural and kill a couple of drones, kill the queen. I don't think they're going to go for the third base again, but it'd be funny if they did. Just never allowed to have a third base ever. Both still at even workers. Lambo mining a little bit better this time. He finally gets drones over to the third. Oh no, oh my god, that was such a perfect... That would have been so perfect. Oh no. That would have helped. Lambo at least. Oh well. Denver trying his best to grab a couple of drones. Not going to find too many. His third base is finally done. Lambo, oh my god, just made 14 drones. Now he absolutely will be taking advantage of that third base. But Denver not going for more drones as the third base finishes. Goes for a lot of roaches. I thought he started a lair, but he might have canceled. He might have just figured just going to go for the all-in. Lambo now has started his lair. His +1's also on the way. Not too far behind. Denver... No, he does start a lair. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it didn't happen. Catches the lings that could morph into banelings. The game continues on. Lambo, the last 20 seconds that I've been speaking, has gotten to that economic boost. Let's check out the graph. There we go. It looks better. Yeah, that's what you would expect. 3 spine colors on the way as Lambo is like, oh, you're gonna all on me, aren't you? It's gonna happen. There's still not a lot of drones anyways at that third base. Funny thing is, it's just a bit of a mistiming. Mistiming on the scout. Denver did make units first, and then drones. True, but he did make drones. So getting back in there, seeing the drones would be nice. Cancels the spine crawlers. There you go. Spire on the way for Lambo. I mean, despite this pretty big jump, you know, he had a spike of his own, but this is definitely a lot more of Lambo. This game has evened out. That certainly happened. Seen a few ZvZs where third base gets denied. Usually once, not twice or 3 times, and the game goes on. Just the flux of ZvZ that you have to respond to your opponent quickly and decisively. So sometimes you could have gotten more drones to take advantage of that third base. You don't, you can't, whatever. And the game kind of evens out, and it's kind of even out here. Denver's still going to be behind in drones. He's still not going to have more units as soon as Lambo uses his bank. Should be more units here for Lambo with that spike in economy. And he actually decided to go for +1 armor as opposed to +2 missile, which you almost never see. It's almost always in a +2 missile if you have, well, a lair anyways. As the Carapace, while it does help all of your units as a Zerg player, it's more expensive than +1, although less expensive than +2. And otherwise, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the math on it, to be honest. I just know that ZvZ, it's all about the +2. Unless you're doing, like, mass lings or an early ling attack or double upgrades, which also is pretty rare until you get to 2-1. So if Lambo started +1 Carapace, that makes sense, but... Alright, Denver has 1-1 against what is about to be +2 in like 20 seconds, but actually with the upgrade lead here, could take advantage, but wasn't expecting the Spire. So, unfortunately, as good as that timing for the Carapace was, the Spire here, the Mute is coming out and helping, might take advantage of it. The hatchery should absolutely go down. Denver gonna try and take the fight on the floor first and then deal with the hatchery. Still can't deal with the air. There's nothing to deal with the mutas. He's trying to buy time as well by sending units across the map, and now it is a battle he is absolutely not winning. He's gonna have to tap out. GG.